Kalvo on a vision. Yabui on the frame. 2 minds, 1 mission. Elevating the game. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Kalvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabui painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Kalvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabui painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already Kalvo on a vision. Yabui on the frame. 2 minds, 1 mission. Elevating the game. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Kalvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabui painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame roll to the final act. If you living for the art, then you already know. Tune in with the squad, let the creativity flow. From the lens to the cut, yeah, we callin' the play. Direct in the flow like we moving ballet. Kalvo bring the story, every scene got soul. Yabui painting light, every shot got gold. Behind the glass or behind the mic, we break it all down, every wrong, every right. This the spot where the real ones speak, where film meets truth every day of the week. We the shot, callers no cap, just facts. From the first frame
We are back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for coming back and tuning in with us for another episode of the Shot Callers podcast with myself, Calvo, and my guy.
Yo, this is Yabui. We in the house.
We missed y'all last week, but we had to take off because it was a national holiday.
Yeah. Happy June. Happy belated Juneteenth
Yes.
to everyone.
We hope you all had a great week. We definitely did. It has definitely been a lot of stuff kind of rocking and rolling on our end. Life has been good. You know, we've been blessed, both of us. I can speak. You know, all is well. How about you? You know?
Yeah, everything's been great, man. I did have to take my son to the doctor this morning to check on his little cold he had. So he's but they said it was just allergies. So
I think that's what's going on with me. Like I've been having like a little ear infection, but my nephew had one too, and his was like allergies and stuff. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's better than COVID or something. So I
Oh.
should have muted that. So
Hey, these allergies will take you out.
exactly.
But we are back again tonight, and I'm glad to be back. It seems like it's been a while. Definitely miss you all. Thank you all for tuning in with us again tonight. We have some great things talking about in tonight's show, and so yeah, let's go ahead and get on to it. You got anything that you want to talk about real quick before we jump into tonight's topic, Yabui?
I just say, everyone, just keep doing your things and put in that good work, because you never know when that great job just pop up out of nowhere and take you places. So just a little inside little thing between me and Calvo, but yeah. And shout out to Jeff. Appreciate you, bro.
Shout out. Also, look, let me just take the moment real quick. I'm glad you said that. I want to. I had this comb.
You had it in your beard?
Yeah. I just want to take a moment real quick just to shout out collectively people. I'm not gonna call anybody by name because I don't want to like forget anybody by name. But since this past week or so, since I've been scrolling on social media, I have noticed a lot of people have been really putting forth and putting out their new projects that they're working on.
Oh,
I see
yes.
so much on my timeline about different casting calls and different scripts and just different things going on. And so I'm just excited for to witness and see all the growth that is going on locally in the film community. And I just want to commend everyone for just continuously chasing their passions and dreams. And I'm excited to see what you all produce.
Yes, I am excited as well. You got Elrico doing it. You got Jermaine J. Williams doing it. You have
Yeah.
Taramis doing it.
I
We're
see-
doing it.
Yeah,
You know,
you
so
right.
what's up?
I saw Michael Kassarian.
Michael Christerian.
Yeah, I saw him
Yeah.
post something, and I saw, like I
Yeah.
said, like 2 or 3 other people post something, and so, man, you know, starting back here a couple years, 10 years from ago, it was a scarce industry, but now it's a lot of people who have really like tapped in and really decided to like chase their projects and do it, and I love it. I love everything about it, and yeah, kudos to you. And if you're not local and you're out here, you know, whether it's a short, a commercial, spec, feature length film, whatever you're doing, if you're out here doing it, give yourself some too.
Come on. And just remember, Calvo and myself are not gatekeepers. If you guys have any questions about anything with gear, how to approach something with lighting, directing, with scripts with Calvo, you need to pay him because that's a lot of work. But anything else besides that, just technical wise and just general knowledge, just hit us up. I mean, we're always an open door and a wealth of knowledge. So
Yeah, So I want to let me see if I can find it real quick. I will say like in the past week, right? I was watching this interview where Ryan Coogler did this interview with I want to say it was Carmelo Anthony, right? And he was talking about, just filmmaking and Sinners and just how he came about and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to see if I could find it because if I could find the clip, I want to see it so we could post it real quick. But in the interview that he did with Carmelo Anthony's podcast, right? He had this quote where he was just talking about like, he started out in football and how like him coming into the before he got into the industry, he was a very competitive person, right? And I'm gonna paraphrase the quote of what he was saying, but he was saying like the one thing that he realized when he got into filmmaking was that filmmaking is not a competition. He said like he got into it. He's a very competitive person. Like he was treating everything like it was a competition. But he said when he got into filmmaking, he had to realize like it's a one man sport. I mean, of course, it's like you got a whole team, but individually, like it's a one man sport. Like you're not competing with anybody because everybody's out here just to put their art out. And that quote just kind of like resonated with me because it's just like when you think about like in the industry, you have multiple people doing the same thing, and people always want to like pin you or put you against something like, even if be like, hey, such and such is doing this, why aren't you doing it? Kind of build some type of fuel or whatever, right? But the thing is, like, it's no competition because like we're all out here getting it the same way. And he was like kind of referencing like Spike Lee, the same way Spike Lee's still out here making movies. Like I'm making
Mm-hmm.
movies, like Jordan Peele's making movies. Like we're all out here in our own lane doing it. There's no competition. Like the real competition is with ourselves to like get it done. And I thought that was very moving quote, and I want to share that with the podcast
Yeah,
today.
that's very moving, bro. And I don't take it as competition. I take other people's work as inspiration.
Yeah, and
Like
that's
what
what
what,
he,
what
yeah.
can I do? What because nothing's really ever that new or you just try to like Quentin Tarantino.
Hmm.
All his movies are just takeoffs from all the movies that inspired him. It wasn't competition for him. He just ingested what they created and then he just made it his own. So
Yeah, and I think like when you like, for instance, right, uh, in the horror genre industry, right, like The Shining is looked at as one of the like top inspirational movies where a lot of different horror movies that have came after that have like taken frames or inspiration or references
and just
from. Yeah.
real quick. Shout out to Jermaine in the chat.
What's up, Jermaine?
Shout out to Hollywood. That's Gina over there.
Oh,
So shout out
hey,
to Hollywood.
shout out.
All right, go ahead. My bad, bro.
But no, like like basically, like yeah, you look at other people's work and you pull stuff from inspiration. And that's what it's all about. Like we're all out here just trying to make things and be creative, and like we all find inspiration in little things and different things. Because I will say, like for me with my work, uh, I pull a lot of inspiration from stuff that I see and stuff that I like, and I don't necessarily try to recreate to the exact extent, but like like a recipe, you take it and you put your little sauce on it and make it yours.
Exactly. And I appreciate you introducing me to Insecure because that is such a great show, bro.
Shout
Y'all
out, your
should
boo
go
just
see it.
watched
Yeah, shout
Insecure,
out to
y'all.
Broken P. If y'all know, you know. But man, the lighting,
So
the
good.
lighting is so good, especially on people of melanin. Man, they just lit that so well,
I
so
know.
well. Just all the different, different scenes and how they framed everything. I just love it. What's up, Miss Potent?
Shout out. But no, bro, Insecure, like that is I use it just from like a lot of lighting references and stuff. They just like people so well. And then like even when like we decided to step out of a little box and add a little color on us and stuff. But they even like when they use color lights and stuff in the show,
Oh man.
man, it's just like
Yeah, it's chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. And just they love doing the orange and teal. That you love using practical lighting and just matches the story. I just love everything about it. I need to go back and watch Insecure again just to take notes because man, this
it is
just
like once you look at it, it's like a cinematic like master class a little bit from how they
Mm-hmm.
Even and we'll talk about it. This is a good lead segue into what we're gonna talk about tonight. But even how they talk about it from like different moods, from like Insecure is like a dramedy. So you have your comedic scenes, and then you have your more dramatic scenes, and lighting and the framing of different genres really plays into how things are done.
Exactly. Well, appreciate it. Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
changing it up. This lighting kind of matches what we're gonna talk
Put your
about
stuff on
tonight.
camera.
Oh,
Shout
sorry.
out to Leah V and Leah. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Yang Cobain.
Oh, yep. What's going on? I appreciate my clients jumping in here. I appreciate y'all. We're just talking about lighting and genres of movies. So go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, yeah. Also, let me see what else we was talking about. No, like yeah, lighting. Just like I just love lighting, but yeah, basically what we're gonna kind of talk about tonight, y'all, is just how like different genres have different ways of lighting, different ways of framing, and just different ways of mood. And like for us watching it, we don't think that we watching we like, oh, this looks so good, but we don't always think about like, oh man, like they really put thought into it to really like bring that out. And so yeah.
Hey, we'll do some more shout outs real quick to this chat. Appreciate you, H J, coming in here. Carlos Miller. What's up? What's up, you guys? Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt, bro.
Oh
This
no,
everybody
you
just
good. I'm just
everybody
looking.
blowing up the chat.
Hey, I
So
appreciate it. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in with us for real tonight. It's on, man.
we need to get Carlos Miller. We need to go ahead and tap and hit that link at the top and get in here.
Oh
He's dope.
yeah, put up that real quick so in case anybody want to jump in.
Right. Let me go
So
to
if you're tuning in tonight and you want to join the conversation live and call in and dial in and join in on the conversation with us, y'all click the link in the chat. The movie's dropping it in the chat right now, and y'all could come on and join us.
uh, let me put it on my page. I guess I'll put it on my page as well. But go ahead, bro.
All right. But nah, so like basically like what we was talking about, just like the lighting and stuff, how like lighting really taps into the mood of like how films are made and how like different genres are lit differently and framed differently, right? And so like tonight we're kind of breaking down like a couple different genres and just like conversation wise, nothing like too formal, of just like how like lighting and like how different moods really play into it based off of like horror, comedy, like dramas, actions, and like romantic comedies. Cause like each genre really has its own psychology, I guess you could say, behind it, to
Mm-hmm.
like how they really like when you start trying to shoot it to like really enhance the mood of the story and the details and stuff. And so we broke it down a little bit. So we'll start off like the first segment we're gonna be talking about horror, excuse me.
Yeah. Don't be calling these girls hoes out here. Horror. I can't even say it, bro.
I know
Man,
I
we
I,
messed
I
up
just be
on that.
like people be calling me off on that all the time. And so like horror and so some of like the key techniques when you think about like horror movies, right? Is like it's always like kind of low lighting because you want to keep it kind of dark to kind of build the suspense, right? And then like a lot of horror movies will use like wide shots because like you gonna try to adjust. All right, so let's
No,
go.
that's already wide.
Oh yeah, so like wide shots where like the subject is small in the frame to where it looks like the more space you put into a frame, which like if you're looking at me, like I kind of feel the frame, right? But if I'm real small and I have a lot of space around me, it really builds that like suspense and that tension for the character because it's like, all right, why is there so much space around them? And so it also like implies like a that some kind of threat is lurking, whether it be in the shadows or just wherever it is. Like you see a lot of wide shots like that, right? And then also when you look at horror movies too, Like it's a lot of times the cameras are kind of like shaky, or they have like slow zoom ins to kind of like build that suspense
Like
and
this, like this.
to build that suspense of what they're talking about.
Yup.
Uh, and then also like how he kind of like zoomed out, like it's usually like a slow movement, but it's kind of followed by something like very just like sharp, dramatic for like a jump scare. Um, and so like just think about like horror movies that uh incorporate shots like this, right? I always think like when I think about a shot that has like a lot of space in it, I think about Get Out, right? Like the
Yes.
sunken place. Like, the sunken place, like we see him, he's sitting in the chair, like he's framed normally, right? Actually, I got a clip. Click right there for me. And let's see if we can throw this up. Hold on. Go to the chat too, see what we got in here. All right. Shout out to Tia in the chat. Uh Aisha J.
Yep. I shouted at her.
She said, how can
Jay.
we chime in?
I just dropped the link. There's a link that I just put in the chat. Just click on that, and then you could be a guest, a video guest. So make sure y'all hair did and everything. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just letting know it's a video chat.
Yeah, come on in, join. So tap the link. Uh
Tell me when you find.
And Gina said, drop that number. We out here. Yeah. So y'all go ahead and click on in and join us live. We'd love to have y'all on here. Shout out to Tia. So Lee, it's not scary. I know she put that weight now. I know how she is about horror movies. Leah came out. She's an incredible actress. Shout out to Leah. But she came out and helped behind the scenes too. And shout out to Tia. Tia is my shout out to Tia.
Shout out to Tia. She did a great job
She
in
did.
Peppermint Lady.
Yeah.
She did a great job in It's Clinical, written by Jermaine J. Williams.
And Jermaine's here too.
Yup.
But yeah, let's show this clip real quick.
All right, let's show this clip. Yeah. Go to the application. There we go. Here we go, bro.
Is this pad working?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. You use that one right there. Make sure you click on that.
Click on what? Okay. So yeah, all right. So what you all are looking at right now is, Get Out. Everyone's familiar with it. By Jordan Peele, great movie. So it starts off where we kind of like see the main character. He's kind of going through things. When we're talking about lighting, right? You see how for her, she's well lit, right? But to build the anticipation and the dramatics for him, you kind of see on the right hand side, his face is kind of like shadowed down. But then you also see, if you pay attention to the clip, we're slowly starting to zoom in, which kind of builds the tension of the scene, right? Which really puts us deeper into like the unease and psyche of what our main character is going through. But see, she's not a threat. She's not in danger or anything, and so that's why she kind of looks okay. But I'm gonna kind of skip ahead, right? And as you can see, like we're steadily like going through. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. It's very intense. And this is the scene. If you're listening in our audio on Spotify and podcast, this is a scene from Get Out where Daniel Kaluuya's character is getting taken to the sunken place, right? I'm gonna skip to the sunken place. All right. So he is falling, sinking, right? But now we have this character. When I was talking about like a lot of negative space, this is another example of like a lot of negative space where you have like this character who is falling. Like it's a lot of space, which kind of like builds an unease. Because when we first saw this, we didn't know if anything was gonna come out from the shadows or what was gonna happen. But like you see a lot of negative space, kind of like this, used within different horror movies, right? And so this is just one example of it. It's countless examples of it, but this is just one that we use. And the low lighting kind of adds and reflects and adds to that as well. All right, I'm gonna pause this, right? So going back to the comments real quick. Jermaine said writing scripts is easy, but lighting is hard. It is. Lighting is so. Lighting is really like a cinematographer's and a gaffer, which is what they're called on set. The people who do the lighting. It's a skill set. It's a whole nother language. Like I know a little bit, but man, when you really start tapping into it and like everything that goes into lighting, it's another world. Wouldn't you agree, boy?
Yes, it is another world, but I'm the opposite of him. I think writing is hard AF, and then lighting is more of my tool bag. I'm not the master of it. I'm learning every day, but I'm a lot more comfortable lighting than writing the script. So go ahead.
Carlos said, my cousin Kevin Lavelle Young. Hey, Kevin, your cousin. Shout out to Kevin. I didn't know that. Yeah, I was in the play with Kevin before. He said my cousin was in one of the scenes in Get Out. That's awesome, man. And then Tia, she gave Tia some love. That's what's up. All right, so I got one more scene, and then we're gonna move to a different genre.
All right, hit pause real quick.
I don't know how. All right, I think
Hit
I
no
did.
thanks. Go hit pause. Oh, let's pause. Okay.
All right.
Let me grab the mouse. Let me grab the
Yeah.
mouse so I can switch it. It's out there. Go. Boom.
All right.
You
So
got it.
so this scene right here is like a cut of scenes from the horror movie Insidious.
I would play the music, but
Yeah,
I don't
we
want to get
don't
demonetized.
That's cool. So like you see how she's like a lot of negatives, like the scenes kind of move kind of quick with the ones I'm gonna talk about, but how like she's just kind of in this frame with a whole lot of like when I say negative space, like a whole lot of just space around her. That's really to like build the unease of like something lurking in the shadows,
Exactly.
right?
And then that top shot and that makes her look smaller and smaller, like she's in fear.
Yeah. And then even so here, like you have all of this negative space with the character, all this negative space with the character right in the center, right? That is also like a tool that's kind of used to build the fear and the dread, right? Oh wow. I am Brett.
You see that they use it's all monotone, but then the red is what pops out.
Mm-hmm. And you see that a lot too. I'm glad you brought that up, you boy. That's a good thing. Like a lot of horror movies do use a lot of like unsaturated colors to where like colors make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of warmth and even like cooler tones. Like this has like a lot of cooler tones and Get Out on the opposite end too. Use like a lot of like blue lights, a lot of like colder tones to kind of like give you that sense of dread, as opposed to where like you have comedies or romantics that have like a lot of color that really just like make you happy,
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think these are pretty much what I was talking about. All right, so
Yes, yeah, that red just pops. Nothing but reds, and then monotone, and then everything's red. I've never seen this. It looks.
you never seen Insidious?
Mm-mm.
Oh, bro, one of the.
I'm not really a
I know.
horror film aficionado. I love rom-coms. My wife loves these type of movies, not me.
See,
But being around you and you creating things like this,
all right,
just
stop sharing. Yeah, and so if y'all been listening to the podcast before, right? I be making horror films, and I love making them, right? But I hate watching them. I mean, I don't hate watching them, but I'm not a horror lover, which is odd hearing it. But yeah, I be scared watching scary movies. But we watch
shout
them.
out to Edward McGrath.
Oh shoot, yeah, the movie
Yeah.
Nosferatu was some of the best cinematic lighting I have ever seen in a movie. Thanks for joining in on the conversation too, Edward.
Edward McGrath, dope ass photographer.
For real.
Doing it, yeah.
And so I have not seen the movie, but I do see where it's on Peacock. I might check it out. It's a new vampire movie, but it's like, are you familiar with it?
No.
So Google it real quick. It's
What
like
the one he just put on there?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I got you.
it's a remake of like the original version of Dracula. Correct me if I'm wrong. Excuse me.
We'll pull up the trailer. There it is right there. You talking about that right there?
Yeah.
Maybe he's talking about the original.
No, well, I think you might be talking about the remake.
Oh,
The remake just
okay.
came out.
Want me to go to it? You want to break it down?
I mean, I haven't seen it, but yeah, we can just watch it real quick.
Okay.
A piece of it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he said the newest.
Yes.
And the whole movie, I believe, is shot in black and white too. He said it's stunning. Yeah, this looks good.
I need to watch this just for the lighting. Oh, it's monochrome.
Yeah. Oh, that's Willem Dafoe. All right. Yeah, no, see, and it looks. I've heard really good things about it. I think it's on Peacock now. If I
Oh, really?
yeah, it
This
got a
does
lot
look
of good
amazing.
praise.
That looks like that's a take from Shining. Dang, I wish we could turn the music
Huh?
up.
Oh yeah, talking about the music. Sorry, y'all. We just gotta talk. We can't get But yeah, so what we're looking at is just some shots and some clips from the latest version of Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Okay.
I know it's weird. I think that am I saying that correctly? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's how you say it, Nosferatu. I had to look it up myself because I was saying like Nosferatu or something.
Man, that looks amazing. That lighting. Oh my god.
Edward said the newest thing he said is stunning. And he said whoever lit it, that is a genius. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to look in shop deck and see who the DP was.
No, this looks good. Wow.
Let me get all of the before we get demonetized for all that gore.
But no, thanks for sharing that that example with us, Edward. Leah said, honestly, it was scary being on set though. So I'm glad I had that experience. I learned a lot. Yeah, Leah, she came and helped out with episodes 2 and 3 of The Peppermint Lady. And you all, if you have not seen The Peppermint Lady, go to YouTube and type in The Peppermint Lady. It's a great miniseries that was shot here locally in Pensacola.
Four studios.
Four studios.
Blow CC in the house.
The block. But yeah, so what we just showed were just like what we were talking about were just examples of like how framing in horror movies is in lighting. So like on the contrary side though, she said I meant to say it wasn't scary. See, it was we had a good time on set. That's like I just remember when I shot my horror film The Proof, which is about Bloody Mary, how like in between takes we were singing the Isley Brothers and just having a good time. And I think that's how it is on most sets. You just kind of keep it light. She said it wasn't scary making, but however, I'm scared to watch it.
Yeah, the Peppermint Lady at the end. I'm just not gonna give away any spoilers, but you got me, bro. At the end, I think it was more about your sound design as well. At the end, the scoring was just great.
I love a good score, and so all right, but so outside of like the scariness, right? We could talk about comedy, right? So comedy lighting is totally different, and framing for comedy is a lot different from horror lighting, right? Let me see real quick before I move on to if I had any more notes I want to say.
Oh, you have Insecure on here. Okay.
All right, so the goal of course, for comedy is to make people laugh, right? So as opposed to like horror movies where you want to add that sense of like fear and dread, right? The mood needs to be the total opposite when you're making a comedy, right? So a lot of visual techniques that people use when making or shooting comedy movies is like they lock off the wide. They use a lot of wide shots, but they also use like a lot of like over the shoulder shots,
Mm-hmm.
and I have some examples of those, right? And instead of like a lot of like zoom ins, it's kind of like a lot of static shots, where it's just kind of frame by frame.
I guess so you can get the reaction.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Except for like uh moments where you think of like Abbott Elementary, where they use like the mockumentary, where they zoom in and stuff for reactions and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
just
that.
like The Office.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which is like in the same sense that when you think about horror, that same technique is used for jump scares. I do remember this one quote I saw where Jordan Peele was saying that the main difference between comedy, a comedy and a horror movie is the music. And when you like think about it, it really is because they both kind of pull the same reactions in the very like they use the same techniques to pull different reactions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because low key, if you watch Key and Peele, you could turn that into a horror. All there because the way they film everything, you could definitely if you just change the music,
Yeah.
it would become a horror film. You're right. You're right.
And so like yeah, thinking about lighting, like as opposed to more unsaturated tones and more cooler tones when you use and make horror films for like comedies, you use like a lot of like warm lighting. It's very soft. It's very just like nice. And we'll show examples of this. Um, let's walk it through with some examples. All right, so I got this example.
Insecure or Abbott.
Use the second Insecure first, I believe. So me and Yabui were just talking about Insecure, and
Give me 1 second. Let me go pull it
because
up.
I just feel like Insecure is a TV show that just has amazing lighting, y'all.
What's
And
up, Kelly?
I know.
Hey, I know the people's names. You know,
Hey.
you know I like that. You good on there, bro?
Uh-oh. All right, so you see, like in here is wide shots, but it's and you still have to shadow kind of like how they did in horror films, but the lighting is a light softer on their skins, which kind of adds like a little glow, which kind of just adds in that warmthness, and it's bright. You just get that ease, and that it kind of gives you that sense of it just kind of match the mood. We can't really use the volume and everything though. Let's see. And so also when I was talking about like static shots where you kind of like instead of movement, you have more where it's just on the tripod and they're kind of bouncing back and forth with the wide shots, right? So you can kind of get the reactions of what the other person's saying. And then this right here, hold on, this is what we would consider like a over the shoulder shot, right? And so what that means is we see like the subject talking right here, right? But we get it from over the shoulder of the opposite person.
Put a cursor on here so they can see it on here.
Is it showing up right there?
Oh, I guess it doesn't. Okay, never mind.
All right.
They can't see the other way.
I'm sorry. Well, if you
I have to
look from
re-enable that. Sorry.
if you're watching and listening, right? So over the shoulder shot, according to the frame and reference, right? On the left side, you see Issa, right? But we're shooting. The camera is behind her shoulder, shooting Kelly, and that is what is used. It's a common technique used in dramedies and a lot of dramas and comedies and stuff. But it's considered like an over the shoulder shot where you shoot the subject from the opposite angle over the shoulder. In basic terms. And you see this happen a lot in drama. I mean, in comedies, dramas, Yeah, let's see. Let's skip to some other ones.
They must have had to move the whole set to shoot that shot. Because how you gonna fit a camera behind Kelly? Rewind it back a little bit when they did the reverse.
Better than. I'm sorry, what?
Uh-oh. I don't think they shot her over the shoulder.
They did right before they cut out.
See, so that's what. Oh wait, hold on. So the over the shoulder from Kelly, they had to cheat it, cause see, Kelly's. You see a little bit of Kelly's shoulder, in the right corner of the screen, right? The little white little hump. So they had to kind of like, I guess, cheat it a little bit where you can't fully get her over the shoulder, but just like a little dirty it. They dirtied the shot with her shoulder. And dirty, that means like put her body into frame somehow.
Yeah, because logistically, if you go back to the other one, look how much room. She's basically against the wall.
Yeah. Talking about when they flip it.
Yeah, so just, I guess for time-wise and money, you can't really just move that whole... See how wide of a shot you would have to... I mean, wide of a lens you would have to use to shoot back over the shoulder?
Unless
yeah, I guess you're right.
Another way that they could possibly have cheated that, though, is to... And they probably did it. Let's go back to this wide, right? So, from us looking at it, they probably brought the desk closer in.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, yeah.
But from our angle shooting it this way, it just looks like the desk is right behind her. But it's probably like a good bit of space behind Kelly and the wall. That makes sense?
No, exactly. I'm just thinking the time.
Oh, talking about the time to...
The time they would have to reverse the whole shot,
yeah.
move the desk, and then make sure that art direction on all that stuff on the desk is what it should be to keep continuity. That's just all those little things. But they got big ass teams for all that. So,
but the lighting on this looks so good, and then even like that was a daytime lighting, right? But even on the nighttime lighting, we can see the warmer tones that are used to really like give us a sense of the warmthness in the scene.
melanin in the skin always pops with that warmer tones.
So good.
The amount of lights they had to put in here to make it feel. But I did see on the bar they did put a lighter reflective material, so that light bouncing onto the bar goes back onto them.
Oh yeah.
To do that fill. See how they put
that down at the bottom? Yeah. And they light a lot from up top too. So you kind of tell that like and they probably have like a bounce, a flat kind of give that little shadow too.
And clients notice how when they light from the top, all these actresses do not have 10-foot lashes hanging from the eyelids. Otherwise, you'll have squirrel shadows.
Boom in the shot.
Boom in the shot. Except for Kelly. She's always, but this was like in 2019?
Mm-hmm.
So it was before the
pandemic.
Super long eyelashes.
Because, all right, so this scene right here between Issa and Kelly is a perfect example of over the shoulders. So you see like where they're shooting Kelly behind Issa and it's over the shoulder, and then they reverse it and shoot the same thing, the same sequence from Kelly's point of view. And that kind of like really is a good way to shoot a conversation between two characters. But then you don't always want it. You do kind of want like moments like this where it's kind of like medium close up of a character to kind of like get that reaction shots and stuff. All right. Oh, that's some great stuff with Kelly. So, all right, that you can take it about. Right. That was one example of like lighting and framing for comedy. I have another one too. And if y'all have any questions or want to jump in, y'all feel free to continue to if y'all have any like good things that are comments or good comedies that y'all like as far as lighting or want to see us talk about, feel free to drop that in the chat too.
Where you want to go to, bro?
You go to the first one.
First Insecure?
Yeah. So this one's a little different. So this one is a comedy. You can just pop it up. You can still let it play. And like I'm sure that like from a technical aspect of using these to give a more lightning and natural feel, like I said, they use like a warm lighting, right? They probably like in a sense use a lot of bounce boards and diffusers to kind of really like soften up the light and even the tones on people's skins. Um
Look at that. And they always have, when they always have, if you see on the left side of Issa's face, you see the warmer tones, and then you see the cooler tone. That this was, I guess, a theme throughout the whole series of them always doing that. You know, the orange and teal look. Even in the styling, if you see hers and then versus Molly's.
the colors, like what we talked about, y'all go back and rewatch our episode when we broke down color palettes. But yeah, you know, it's the opposite end. Like the teal is it's the opposite end of the blue in the color palette. So you want to kind of like use those colors to bring that out and bring out the moods to juxtapose the two different characters in this scene.
Exactly.
Womp womp. And so this scene is a more dramatic scene from the show Insecure. This scene's kind of heartbreaking to be honest, but it's a great show up like how they use like the static cameras probably on the tripod or so. Uh,
That's a great shot.
it is, and the lighting is just great. You still get the intensity of the scene with the shadows, which kind of like the more dramatic things are, the more you start to see shadows appear. And so you kind of get those shadows on the face to kind of add the depth, not only to the character, but really depth to the scene. Also, we still have like a little warmer tone, uh, because of like the nature of the show, but like how Yabui just pointed out in the scene, and if you are watching or listening to us, we are breaking down the scene from Insecure season 4, low key tripping, when Molly and Issa have their spat outside the house. No spoiler alerts. Uh, but we see how like the cooler tones are being introduced a little bit too, and then also when you kind of look at it too, Yabui, how the colors are a little less saturated as well in the scene to kind of like add to the more seriousness of what's going on.
Yeah, just like in the horror film that we watched.
Yeah.
I got you.
But you get like for comedies and for conversation, you really get a good sense of the over the shoulder technique and how it's really coming in TV shows and movies too, to kind of like put you more into the perspective of the conversation between characters.
I just think the DPs have to prep everything, and everything is just deliberate. It's not just by accident.
Like all the lights in the background, like the lights on the wall, the lights in the
on the other house across the street,
all of that is like strategically placed on the set.
And then they're lighting so you can see the cars. Because otherwise, if you wouldn't light, it would just be pitch black.
Yeah. So this is a great example. All right, we can stop it here. But that is an example I wanted to like one example. I got one more I'm gonna try to use too to show how framing and comedy is used. So we talked about earlier, like another example that's kind of fun that uses not steady shots, but moving shots in comedy is an example, Abbott Elementary, right? And so we have a clip from Abbott that we wanted to share as well.
Gonna play it?
Yeah, you could hit play. And so this is just like a random scene from the TV show Abbott Elementary that comes on ABC But it's a mockumentary style. But with it being a comedy, you get like you see how everything's kind of like evenly lit. You still have soft tones on everybody's skin, uh, where you you just feel the joy from it. The colors aren't too saturated. Like it's a lot of just pop, to really just put us in there. But the quickness of the camera framing
And the
is,
camera operators must be making their money on this one.
huh?
They're earning their money on this
Oh
one
yeah.
because it's just not on sticks, static.
But even because of the movement, like, and you look at the reactions with the character, it adds a sense of a comedic tone, as opposed to if it was like, watching this on mute, right, is a perfect example when we were just talking about how comedy and horror uh could be the same thing. Because if you put some scary music to this, it could be really scary.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe you should change the lighting and then you put that scary music. This and she's breaking the fourth wall. All right.
Rewind it back. I want to try something real quick.
Okay.
I'm looking up some copyright free horror music.
Okay.
You want to try it?
Go ahead, bro.
So start the scene over. Let's try it.
Here we go. Ready?
All right. I'm
Just
ready.
play it loud. Yeah.
I don't know if this was a good song or not, but
That actually went together right there.
That's a pretty.
no. Well, we saw what we needed to see, but yeah, uh, yeah. So now, moving on, right? And so, from a technical standpoint too, when shooting like comedies, a lot of people for the lenses, right? A lot of people use 35 millimeter lenses or like 50 millimeter lenses. Those are like the closest to kind of give you like a more like natural feel, and they avoid distortion, right? Those two lenses, because they kind of like are the closest to the human eye, right? Um, when you could moving on real quick, when you think about like dramedies, right? Dramedies, dramedies, not dramedies, meow. Dram, uh, when you think about dramas, right? Like movies that are dramas, you want to create more of like a empathy, a depth, and emotional tension within the characters, right? So therefore, like some visual techniques that are popular in dramas are like close-up shots, um, use of like shallow depth of field to really just add to the intimacy of the scenes. Um, you still kind of get like the slow push-ins, right? Kind of like what we saw when we were using or showcasing things from like a horror aspect, but more of a like relaxed uh push in, which it does do the same thing that the horror movies do. It builds the intensity and kind of still adds like a sense of unease to really like lock in with the characters. And emphasize like the emotional beats of what's going on, right? Um with with dramas, we see like a lot of natural lighting motivated from some type of light source, whether it's like a diner light or outside light or something like that. And color palettes often tie in with the tone of the scene. That's another note I had. Like dramas, when you think about dramas, color palettes were just like they just stand out really well. Um And you know, I bring it up multiple times. Like an example that a drama that I think about has like amazing color palettes is Moonlight, right? And I think I got like a clip of Moonlight too. And if y'all are in the chat, y'all feel free to tap in. If y'all have some really good dramas that y'all like, uh, drop those in the chat. If you have any questions on anything, we here. We breaking it down. We going over genres by light, and y'all tap in. And if you want to join the conversation live, click the link in the chat too. We love to have y'all. All right, Yabui, you say, come on camera with me. So I don't know if you've ever seen
Let me pause this.
yeah.
This lighting is amazing as well.
Have you ever seen the movie Moonlight?
No, I have not.
Bro, it's shot so well.
Here we go.
All right, so this scene is a scene that's shot in the diner between like two of the main characters, right? And similar to how the last dramatic scene was shown from Insecure, like this one is just the same thing kind of between two guys where we have the light the lighting is motivated from the diner, which you kind of see. Pause real quick for me. Like looking at it, like they tried to frame it to where like half of his face is lit in with a warm color, right? To insinuate that the lighting source is coming from inside the diner. But then if you look to the right hand side of the screen, you see, all right, the window's open. So we added in a little bit of cooler tone to show like maybe from an outsourced light from the outside or maybe even the moonlight.
Exactly. This is just amazing.
And then the color palettes, right? So breaking down color palettes, like you see like a lot of just like different browns and different reds and different hues of blue to really just like build this world to where like psychologically we are just kind of like drawn into it.
Exactly. Because if this was like Waffle House, all yellows, it just wouldn't match. But that definitely adds to the scene. The art direction is just so important. See a little hot sauce in the back there.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
kind of hungry, bro.
I didn't even notice that. All right, you keep playing, yeah. But then, like a lot of the scenes here are like medium shots where man, this lighting is just so good. Where we're really kind of thrown into the scene of what's going on, and we can really kind of like connect with the characters. Cause like, look, we don't even know what they're saying, but based off their actions, we're just kind of all like brought in.
Yes, I love The Godfather as well. How they light from above and
And so, even so, let's see. I'm gonna try to zoom in. So like, give me the mouse real quick.
go ahead, bro.
Like when we think about dramas, a lot of dramas have very like close up shots too. So like we see how even with the slow push, just like a little slow push onto like the main character right here, Chiron. And because of the intensity of what's going on, we see like a little close up now.
He's actually a server there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cause seen this. Okay.
He's a friend who works at the diner, and so he came back into town to see the friend.
Okay.
After something happened, and so like a lot of dramas have scenes where it's very just shot up close. You know where the closer you are into frame, you kind of like connect with the character. And I did something similar to this too in one of my films, 6 Feet from the Gun, the one that stars Gene and my
Yes.
boy Darrell. So you know the shot that you always talk about where it's like very wide on Gene's face.
Mm-hmm.
That's a drama. So like I kind of took notes from this and applied it to like how that is.
Yeah, you can tell from your lens choice. You love using a 50 millimeter.
I do.
To get in tight. Yep. It's a long shot.
It is.
Man, kudos to the AC pulling focus on that one. You just had to nail that focus.
But yeah, so this is basically the shot, what I was trying to use for one of the examples I had.
And then everything shifts to yellow. It's gonna be
Yeah, and it still kind of follows like that same color palette, so like it doesn't change much, Um, and then let's see, I don't remember what this was. Oh, another example
that's amazing.
Of similar lighting, right? Is this movie called If Beale Street Could Talk? Both movies are shot. Both If Beale Street Could Talk and Moonlight were both directed by the director Barry Jenkins, who recently directed Mufasa.
Oh,
But like these are his two movies, so he's a director that I look up to when I think about framing it, and especially with dramatics and lighting and stuff. But like in the frame, let's see here.
making these skin tones pop in here.
Yeah, you still get like a warmthness, and so like some dramas, a lot of dramas still kind of use like the warmthness and the tones, or depending on what nature. Some of them use cooler tones. But just like the color palettes, and then just like
Yeah, that shot's dope, bro. Look at the practical lighting, and then the art direction again, the green drapes. Everything's like earthy.
yeah, and so, but like the framing of it, like it really frames the character. Like you really want to get the character in the frame to really like dive into like the emotional depth of like what's going on in the scene, right? So you see like as the scene intensifies, the closer we get to each character, to really just pull you in. If you haven't seen this movie, this is a good one too, Yabui.
I need to catch up. I just love the hues of the colors. You got the greens, the browns.
Yeah, the soft lights. Oh, so yeah, so that's just a clip right there. All right, we can come out. But yeah, so that's like those are two little like. So if you're just joining in or being with us in the conversation, so what we've been talking about tonight thus far is just like how lighting and framing is different with different genres, right? So like, cause you wouldn't shoot a horror film the same way that you would shoot a comedy, and you wouldn't shoot a comedy the same way you shoot an action film. Like it's different ways of like, constructing the lighting, constructing the framing, even the pacing, right? So like, we talked about how like horror has slower pacing, where like a comedy could have like a little bit more upbeat pacing and movement, and just how different shots are broken down. And so thus far we've broken down comedy, horror films, and dramas, right? So coming up, and we'll get ready to close it out here shortly after this, is just action films. So, Ibu, what do you think about action films and how they should be made and stuff? Like in comparison to everything else.
Probably just high key lit.
Where you at?
Probably high key lit. Action films, there's probably more CGI, so everything has to be lit well, so they can put in a little special effects and everything. And then just fast paced moving, high shutter, so you get that little static jittery movement if you're interacting. So it just depends.
Have you shot an action sequence?
Maybe like in music
that
music
counts
videos.
still, yeah.
But I was really not cognizant about the lighting. When you do music videos, you just work with what you have. So, but not in I'm trying to think. No, I have not in the actual movie deal. I have not shot an action scene. Shot a dance scene. I had to light the whole area because there's like a million people in it.
Edward said, if you haven't, check out War Horse. It's beautiful lighting too. I'm gonna check that out.
I need to check that out too. I did love The Godfather. Love the way they lit that. That's just a classic film. But yeah, I do need to check out War Horse.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Appreciate the recommendations.
Yeah,
Ed.
this is great stuff. Thanks for tuning in with us tonight, Edward. War Horse. Okay. This is a Steven Spielberg movie.
Oh, look at me. I don't even. War Horse.
We're gonna look it up real quick. War Horse has layered lighting. This is great stuff to know.
Let's go. I think I still have a shot deck account. Let's pull it up in there.
Yeah, I mean, and if anybody else has any recommendations for or have watched something that cinematically stands out to y'all drop that out in the chat. We love all the recommendations that we've been getting tonight. It's been great. Thanks for tuning in with us.
W. See it anywhere on there?
War Horse. So yeah, down there.
War Horse. Okay. We'll pull up shot deck. Okay.
Oh yeah, this is nice.
Oh my gosh.
That one shot of that kid.
I know.
Great. And see how the color palette too when we're talking about dramatics and stuff.
That's dope. And then just the logistics of shooting it outside like that.
And getting it so loud, like so soft and so balanced. Man, look at that. That looks great.
Let's go through these.
Albert and his beloved horse, Joey, live on the farm in the British countryside. At the outbreak of World War I, Albert and Joey are forcibly parted when Albert's father sells the horse to the British cavalry. Against the backdrop of the Great War, Joey begins an odyssey filled of danger, joy, and sorrow as he transforms everyone he meets along the way. Meanwhile, Albert, unable to forget his equine friend, searches the battlefields of France to find Joey and bring him home.
No, I was getting stuck. Something. I think my
I
mouse.
was leaning.
Oh, okay.
That was me. Sorry. No, this is look at
Nothing
that.
like shooting on a cloudy day and all the lights even. I love doing photography on a cloudy day. Everything's just nice, even lighting.
Yes.
You bring your own lighting. Look at that little backlight, little edge light on the back there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to light everything so the sky can stay blue. Then they're working with horses, bro. Like,
Look how well lit that horse is. I had a horse growing up. Did I ever tell you that?
I rode a horse once. I was scared. You feel like you're way up in the air riding on horses.
Yeah, my horse looked just like that horse.
Okay, then here we go. Boom. That's beautiful.
Edward said it's best cloudy for weddings too. That's true.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is a great recommendation. This lighting is incredible.
I got hit by a horse as a kid. Oh, I got bit by a horse as a kid. Oh man, that's not a good feeling.
I got bit by a dog as a kid.
For real.
Yeah,
So I've never gotten bitten by a horse. Luckily, my horse's name was Kit, K-I-T. I don't know why we named her that, but she was with us for a long time. Kit, I miss her. But I've fallen off of horses. But luckily, I've never gotten bit by a horse. I'm sorry for that, Edward.
That's a great shot. I wonder if that sky is CGI. There's no way they just waited until that sky looked like that.
I don't know, Steven Spielberg, you know.
Oh yeah, he probably got CGI for that one. It's tough.
Thanks for these recommendations. This is great lighting.
And with the little haze in the back.
Mm-hmm. I want to shoot more with haze. You use the haze machine?
I have a fog machine. It's in my storage unit. I just use it for like every music video, so I stopped using it. But I really want to, and that's when I had my old spot when I had the warehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that here, bro. I get in trouble.
Fire alarm.
Yep. Cause we got sprinklers in here.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
This reminds me of last year. I was shooting this project in Atlanta, and we used haze, and we hazed up this house. We were shooting in this house, and got the haze right. The lighting was perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and I was ADing for this project. Shout out to Paradise Lock by John White. And we were getting ready to go for a take. I mean, the lighting was immaculate with the haze, and all of a sudden, right before we went for the take, it's the fire alarm went off.
What?
So then we had to like pause and like go take all the batteries out of the alarms.
Then you have to put the fire alarms in a drawer or something because he keeps making that beep
Mm-hmm.
beep. I hate shooting in the rain. If it's not intentional.
Mhm.
I have to shoot football games, man, it'd be
Oh, yeah.
pouring. But the Sony A7S III, like, really, it got me through a whole storm
Oh,
during a
that's
football
good.
game. It was storming. I was soaking wet, and my camera lived.
All right. Well, thanks for showing us these examples of. Yeah, this is some great stuff. I have the little smoke ninja and the bigger one.
I do want to get one of those,
What's that?
but it's probably just for like solo shot. Solo shot. It's just like product shots, or like where you're doing like little portraits when you have one person. I've tried it with in a bigger space. It just doesn't fill up. You have to get one of them cheap, big smoke machines. But you probably have the bigger one. I did want to get those because those are just in your hand.
Oh,
and
good
you
for
can-
ring shots. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
All right. But yeah, so talking about action, right? So when we think about action and breaking that down, you want the energy high, right? So you want lighting is like you mentioned, the lighting is probably like really high. The goal is to like drive energy, chaos, the tension, because there's a lot of tension in like action scenes, where it's a fight scene or somebody's like Batman's flying across the sky or whatever it is, right? So when you think about movements, it's usually like a steady cam or like a handheld cam or a drone or something like very fast paced, right? Also like action sequences are like very fast cutting edits, because
Mhm.
you just get like just a whole bunch of just different like scenes. Um, it's very I put an extreme contrast or stylized lighting where it's what we talked about. Wide lens so you can get the action, but then in the midst of like a wide lens of the action, you kind of intercut it with a whole bunch of like close ups or like medium close up shots of just different things, whether it's like a fist hit or like a kick or something, to like really intensify the action sequence, right?
And it depends too. Like in '80s blockbuster action, they use a lot of high key lighting. But then you go like to Jason Bourne, or you go to like Batman or
Mhm.
Dark Knight. Lots of they don't
Yeah.
light it at all, but it's more drama, more cinematic.
And so I put like one example here of a fight scene.
Or John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick. This one's from Kill Bill.
That's like my favorite, and it's the first. That's when what's her name? Oh,
Uma Thurman,
Not
Vivica
Uma Thurman.
Fox.
yes, that's when she used to look good until she touched her face.
Bum,
Hold on. Let me bring it back. My bad. Let me bring it back.
bum.
Vivica Fox looked great. Then she touched her face. Got all that plastic surgery. Don't fall for that Hollywood glam, please.
Boom in the shot.
Boom in the shot. I'm gonna go to play Kill Bill. I love
We
this
love
movie.
you, Vivica.
I love you, Vivica. Just shouldn't touch your face.
All right. Pew, 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 boom, boom, ba-da. But you see how it's like wide, but then you kind of cut it in with close ups, and the editing is just really fast, you know.
Plus, it covers up like they can't fight in real life. But I heard they did prepare for this movie
Well,
with martial arts and lots of training.
yeah, I mean, like fight and action sequences require a lot of like I think they prepare like months in advance usually for stuff like that, you know, because it's all coordinated.
And still in this action scene, you see the art direction in here. Look at this.
That's true.
Just how the colors are just popping, and you got blue versus tan, just like in Insecure.
Yeah, color palette. And then like, you know, like what we talked about too, going back to like the color wheel, like you always want to like use juxtaposing like colors
Mm-hmm.
in frame, you know. So that's why like the same as like we talked about like the teal and the green, like right next to it would be like blue and yellow.
It's just everything's just so intentional. They don't just do it just because. They don't just put on the clothes on Vivica versus Uma Thurman. There's a reason. And then her stepping on that glass. I know the glass is crackling. One more slide. It took a lot of lighting for this one to not blow out those windows.
It had to, because that lighting outside looks great.
Yeah, they must use a lot of lights for that one. You know what? It's a lot easier to break down.
You know what? Actually, we don't actually know if they shot this during the daytime.
Oh yeah, they could have.
They could have easily shot this scene at nighttime.
So they could control the light better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they probably used, and they're on a set.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it could be like a huge light up top just shining down to like give it the insinuation that it's daytime. I'm not sure how they shot the scene. They might have shot it during the daytime. But
yeah, she was changing her face at this time too. Because in Booty Call, she was nice and natural.
she was. All right, that's the only action scene. We can pull up any more action scenes that you want to though.
Like
Let me see.
was on some Jason Bourne.
Edward said maybe 360 lighting. Maybe so.
It's like in these action scenes for Jason Bourne, there's always not as high key lit. So it's green tone. I guess because they're overseas as well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
London, France, all those areas. It's cloudy and rainy all the time.
But still in the same sense of with it being an action sequence, right? You see the editing. Is very quick and fast paced.
All handheld, no gimbals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the AC's working their earning their money on this film. Second AC, first AC. Whoever's pulling focus, they're earning their money in this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Could do a horror action. So we can do nice handheld and shaky shots.
Let's do it. Let's genre bend. Yeah.
All right, back to you, bro.
Back to us.
Back to us. And me.
So, recap. Oh, also, we're not gonna break it down, but romance and dreamies, right? Romance, similar to comedies, you have the light in what we prefer is golden hour lighting, where it's really nice. You get like soft touches of lens flares and different things. You have a lot of light colors, similar to comedies. Sci-fi's is more closer to like a difference between horror and drama, where you have stylized lighting, and usually like horror is very. I mean, not horror, but sci-fi is very high in contrast with the lightings. Um, and then documentary is more of a natural thing. So for lighting and framing, you keep things more natural. And for documentaries, it can a lot of times. I know both of us have done documentary work. When framing wise, I do a lot of handheld um work, kind of like keep the frame kind of moving to kind of like really put you.
So when they're doing how about on interviews?
Interviews I put on the sticks.
Okay.
But outside of that, like we moving, because we
Yeah.
in real time
Yes.
with it.
To get that B-roll in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And so takeaways, right? Like genre is not just writing or tone, right? It's visual. And so like you don't but each genre has its own way idealistically of doing it. So you can't shoot the same genre the same way you shoot another one. So, you don't shoot a horror the same way you shoot a comedy. You don't shoot a comedy the same way you shoot a documentary or vice versa. But there are ways where putting this out there as a disclaimer where you can inadvertently have more genres for whatever you're working on, right? Which is what they call like genre bend. Like you can yeah, just different things kind of like you can step outside the lines and cross boundaries.
Exactly.
Even though they tell you not to break rules, all filmmakers break rules
Always
or
break
bend
rules.
them.
So
Yeah,
you can set yourself apart.
Yeah. And so like something I think like after especially watching today's episode that like I challenge everyone to do is like think about some of the things we talked about today, and like when you're watching films in this next week, like think about like if you can pick up some of the things that we talked about as far as the lighting and the framing, and if you have any ideas and stuff like right, yeah, comment on our poster and stuff and let us know. I think that'd be cool. Um, but also, like I said, as a filmmaker, if you're doing it, be experimental. Like, there's no really right or wrong way to do anything. However, there is like unspoken rules, which is what we're talking about, right? But to effectively reach the tone of what you're trying to portray, take into considerations the lighting and the framing.
Yeah, just being
And the production design. Yeah, be intentional.
Yeah, be very intentional with everything because all these guys in these big movies, they're very intentional about everything from the art. We've been talking about it from the art direction to the lighting to how they frame the shot. Everything's very intentional. So don't just go into a room and just take what it gives you. You create the lights. Turn off the house lights and just start with one light and start working with that. Work with the practicals. Just work with everything that you do have, and then just I don't know, just go light by light. Just turn everything off and go turn on your key light, and then just be very intentional like they're doing.
I agree. So with that being said, we are going to come to a close for this week's episode of the Shot Callers podcast. But if you tune in with us, we don't just close it out. We must give our final thoughts. And so, Yabui, I'm going to let you, or do you want me to lead with the final thoughts?
You lead first, bro.
All right, my final thoughts are At the end of the day, genre is more than just a label. It's a visual language. As cinematographers, we're translators. Every frame we compose, every shadow we shape, and every lens we choose is a part of how the audience experience that story. Whether you're shooting a horror movie, a comedy, a drama, a sci-fi, your camera should always speak the emotional truth of the scene. Don't be afraid to play in different sandboxes. Shooting a comedy, studying its rhythm, capturing a horror scene, master silence and stillness. Every
your chat GPT go out. Boom in the shot. You just killed your
Woo! All right.
when using chat GPT goes wrong.
Every step of the way. All right.
I gotta put my glasses on. I can't read.
That was hilarious.
All right, let's do mine real quick. Like a well-lit frame in a dim room, your vision shines brightest when you trust your instincts behind the lens. Whether you're shooting in natural light or chasing neon dreams, never forget the genre may shift, but the story is always yours to tell. That's it. 2 sentences, bro.
All right.
I can't read when
No matter.
I have headphones on.
I know you took the headphones off. I didn't know what was going on.
Because you know the
That
sound,
yeah.
it's all delayed in my headphones.
But no, we again thank you all for tuning in with us for tonight's episode of the Shot Callers Podcast, where we call the shots on all things film related and more. And so if you are listening to us, be sure to tune in.
And before you end it, shout out to Shanita over there.
Oh, yeah, shout out. We had someone, she popped in. All right, yeah, light and music make the production. I love this. Yes, thanks for tuning in with us. But yes, so be sure to also, if you are, as we get ready to close out, be sure to take us with you. Go back and listen to us, or just listen to us on the go with Spotify. And I know I hear the feedback now.
Oh, you do?
When you took your headphones off, it was throwing me
there
off.
you go.
Sorry. Be sure to tune in with us next week for the Shot Callers Podcast, where we call the shots on all things film and more. I am your guy, Kalvo G, and I'm here with Yabui.
Yabui, they waiting on who's next.
Yabui, they waiting on who next.
Also, feel free to share tonight's podcast. You can share it on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, give us a like on our actual page, the Shot Callers Podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram and take us on the go by listening to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next week, you all, we are here and we will be calling the shots on the Shot Callers Podcast.
And next week, we might be out of town.
We may be out of town. So, I'm glad you said that real quick while I was getting ready to close out. Next week, we may be on the road with the Shot Callers Podcast.
Hey, let's book it. Let's pray for that booking tomorrow.
Y'all send us some good vibes because we out here trying to make it happen. But no, seriously, we love you all and we thank you all each week for tuning in with us. We come on here, we just talk, we have a good time. Be blessed, everyone. Be safe. It's a lot going on in the world. Y'all know that. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.